Hello everyone, it's Laura here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video I'm gonna show you how to create a Gatefold card and also how to make your own treasure map using distress inks and digital stamps by Craftin Desert Divas. For my card base I used some watercolor paper by Winsor & Newton. The original sheet measures 9 by 12, so I just cut a strip that is 4¼ inches tall. And I left it, instead of cutting it at 11 inches, I left it at 12 for now, but I will trim it at the end. I just wanted to leave myself some margin in case I needed to trim things off. And you can see here I'm preparing my masks. These are some repositionable packaging labels. I got them from Amazon. They are nice, they're A4 size and they're quite affordable. So I cut in, like as you see, sort of an island or a coastline shape. I'm masking it off and then I'm coming in with my distress inks. This is antique linen to start creating my island. I will use distress ink in antique linen and vintage photo for the island and broken china and stormy sky for the ocean. And for the island that you can see I'm starting to color in or ink up right now, I'm using antique linen just where the island meets the sea, so at the coastline, because I want to mimic the look of sand. For the inside of the island, I will instead use vintage photo because I wanted to give the impression that that part of the island is sort of taller, you know, how these geographic maps are color-coded. I was trying to reproduce that a little bit. And you can see that I'm trying as much as I can to come in from the sides of my card with my inks and slowly build up the color. I don't mind it too much if the color is not perfectly blended, because that would sort of mimic unevenness in the, you know, in the land or in the island. But still, you know, you don't want giant splotches, right? So if you always try to dab off a bit of excess on your craft mat and come in from the sides inwards, that would definitely help. And here I'm checking that, you know, the elements of my island look nice together, and I'm coming back in with some more vintage photo because the area where the volcano is would be taller than the rest of the island, and I was trying to mimic that by having a darker color just right there. And once I'm happy with the way my island look, I can go ahead and remove the masking paper. And this is always a nice thing to do when you reveal this nice neat edge. And I am saving up my masking paper because on the one hand I could use it for another project because, you know, it's perfectly fine. But actually I wanted to add some more details on the ocean part of my card. And you can see here I added this little island. What I did is I drew a shape on my masking paper. I cut out the shape and I used the negative to create an opening through which I applied my inks. You can see me doing the same now with a larger island that I will place in the middle of the ocean. I'm using this image with the little boats to decide exactly where I want the island to be placed, and then I can go ahead, stick down the negative of my cut, so of my mask, and coming with my distress inks to create my island. So I used the same antique linen and vintage photo distress inks to create these two little islands, and once that's done and dry, I can go ahead and use the masks that I had previously cut to mask off these areas as well as the larger island on the left of my scene, because it's time to ink up the ocean. the ocean, I decided to use Broken China and Stormy Sky because these are a bit less saturated than the other blues in the Distress Ink range. And I wanted the project to have a distress look at the end of it, so I didn't want to go for too vibrant colors. I am coming again from the edges towards the center of my project and trying to build up the color slowly. And I'm also leaving a lighter area, you know, in the parts where the island meets the sea, because I think this gives a more realistic look to the whole project. Once my card base was over, I could move on and color in my images. These are digital stamps by Craftin Divas, and I think they're really cute. They are part of the July release. You know, a whole bunch of pirate theme stamp sets came out, digital stamps came out, and I had so much fun pairing them with older digis, also by Craftin Divas, to create all the elements on my card. It was really nice. And the great thing about these digis is that each of them is 99 cents only, and for this price you don't just get one image, but most of the times you get multiple images and even sentiments, so I think that's pretty awesome. For the coloring, I decided to use my Prismacolor colored pencils, and I used the Zest-It blending solution to blend them out. This is a product which is similar to Gamsol, so it allows you to blend out your pencils and to get some coloring done with your Prismacolor pencils in a quick manner, so that's nice. At least it was nice for this project because I had so many images to color, but I wanted to have the look of the colored pencils. I didn't want to use my Spectrum markers for this project, so this was a pretty neat solution. Anyways, I will not show you the coloring for all the images on this card, otherwise we would sit here forever, and this is already quite a long video. I just wanted to briefly mention this product in case you might be interested in trying it out. That was just a little bit of speed coloring for you guys to show you how this blending solution works, but I didn't want to spend too much time on this. This video is already quite long, and really the main thing I wanted to show you is how to make a gatefold card and how to create your treasure map kind of scene. I am coming in with some distress ink in antique linen and coating all my images with it so that they would look a bit more distressed and the whole thing would be more cohesive. Here I am scoring my card. I'm making a score line at 2 3/4 inches and one at 8 1/4 inches, so that when the whole card is folded it would measure 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I am folding now the flaps that I created, and you see here I had left a little bit of room for me in case of mistakes and stuff. I am marking where the two flaps meet, and I will trim off the excess with my guillotine trimmer. To age my card a little bit, so to give it a little bit of an older look, I'm also coming in with my distress ink in Vintage Photo, and I'm distributing it along the edges only. And I will do the same with my images, so I will sponge the edges of all the images with Vintage Photo. Here I just wanted to show you that I had inked also the back of my treasure map with some antique linen and some Vintage Photo, because that will be the front of the card in the end when everything is closed, and I wanted it also to look old and as if this was sort of a treasure map that you open and you discover the content. Anyway, here I am gluing down finally my elements on my card, and I'm using some Tombow Monomute glue to do that. Because my volcano overlaps with one of the folds in my Gatefold card, I took again my scoring board and I scored the line along the volcano, so in the same spot where the fold is, so that the whole card would fold in nicely. And I also took a strip of that same watercolor cardstock. This measures 1 inch by 12 inches, and it's scored at 2 7/8 and at 8 5/8. I then folded the two flaps on top of each other and I glued them, because this will be basically the mechanism, so to say, that will keep my Gatefold card closed. To again make it look more, as if it's part of the same treasure map, I'm distressing the edges with distress inks in antique linen. I didn't add Vintage Photo because I wanted, it to be a little lighter, so that it would be almost an accent on the front of the card. I didn't want the front to be too heavy and too dark, because this is still like a cute card. The pirate here and the little treasure map are also digital stamps by Craftin Divas. I will list all the supplies that I used for this project in my blog post, which will be linked down below. It will also include measurements for the Gatefold card and a little template for the the island that I drew on the inside of the treasure map for you to use in case you want to reproduce this project. I stamped my sentiment on watercolor cardstock, the same that I use for my card base, and I'm now using my scissors, and I will come in also with distress ink in antique linen to give it a distressed look before adhering it to the front of my card. And to finish off my card, I took a brown Prismacolor pencil and I drew in a little path to the treasure, because what's a treasure map worth if it doesn't show you where the treasure is and how to get there, right? And here you can see the finished card, and you can see also how you can slide on and off this little belt that we created to reveal your treasure map. I also wanted to take the chance to let you know that I created this project as part of a blog hop, Card Maker magazine and Craftin Divas paired together, and you can hop along all the blogs in the hop and leave a comment on each blog for a chance to win a $75 gift certificate to the Craftin Divas shop. All the links will be in my blog post, which again will be linked down below. So Hop along and good luck! And that's it! That's my card for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and you found it useful. If so, please let me know in the comments below, leave this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. You can also visit my blog for the full list of supplies, and I hope I'll be back soon with another video. Ciao!